And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs that voices never share. No one.
What have I got for you this month? As always, we've got what DEC got up to last month in February. Very interesting month. Oliver's birthday and a few bits and pieces. You'll enjoy it. And then we've got the next thing we've got is the village where I went to school. And this is lovely because we recorded it up in Con's house. Very chatty, nice. And we show all the pictures of us as children. Very nice. Next thing we've got then is the old village video diaries. And this time is from March in 2018. So it's around Patrick's Day, around this time. We did a lovely benefit show for a charity up near Peterborough. Who had we got with us? The Egypt himself, the guy who takes the mick out of all the Irish people with his galoshes with left and right on it. Jimmy Cricket, nice guy, nice guy. And then we've got, this is very fascinating, this is. John Leyland asked me to do an in-depth on various people who helped us with their career. And of course, I couldn't do without Philip Solomon. Wait till you hear the stories I've got. Ha ha! And then we've got an Irish medley. This was actually based on the Irish medley that we did on stage for so many years. People used to love it. And we did it every St. Patrick's Day. But this is the version that we did in the studio. Birthdays come up next. That's lovely. And then Are You Right There, Michael? Are You Right? Written by Percy French. Con loved all Percy French's material. And I'll tell you the story about it later. Then we go on to Saying Goodbye with a very unusual song. It sounds like it's a very ancient song written about the terrible times in Ireland when it was a part of the British Empire, and the British, as we all know, happened all over the world. The British weren't too nice to the Irish. It were dreadful. This is a song written about that by a guy called Tommy Makem. You may remember the Clancy Brothers and Tommy Makem. Very good song. Wait till you hear it. Oh, listen, Chris, you know all about Ireland. Have you ever been there?
Yeah, many times, Jack. Been to Ireland. Love it.
Tell us your best time. Go on.
Well, probably the best time was when we did literally the Ring of Ireland, never mind the Ring of Kerry, on a couple of weeks holiday driving. And that was amazing. We saw just about everything. We started in Dublin and ended up in Donegal. And the hospitality in Donegal was amazing. And one of my favourite memories was we ended up in a pub in Donegal and ordered the drink, started looking around the walls, and there were all these gold and platinum discs on the walls. And so I said to the guy behind the bar, I said, "What's all this about?" And he said, "Oh, it belongs to Enya's dad, this pub." And yeah, that was something I'll never forget.
Yeah. Did you know Enya? Have you ever heard of Enya, Janet, over in Thunder Bay?
I'm not sure. Tell me more.
Enya was very Irish, and she specialized in what's called multi-vocals. You know, like the vocals I do, where I have about 16 versions of myself singing. Well, she went up to 30, 40, 100. I've done 100 of myself, but she specialized in it. And from my point of view, from the music industry point of view, the lovely thing, which I find hilarious, is that she would start recording and she would get up to about 40 takes of, say, one line, 40 takes, it'd take about 3 days, and then she wouldn't be happy with it. They'd just scrap it and start again.
Well,
I think that's unbelievable, unbelievable. So what did I get up to last month? It was very interesting, very interesting.
What a shock I got. I went into my studio, recording studio, and this fella was just sitting there. He was sitting there for ages and ages. I'm very good with things like that. I wouldn't crush him or anything like that. So I just thought maybe he wants to sleep for the winter. So I left him there. And then, the next day I came in. Look what was on the studio recording desk. I think it's a Red Admiral. Somebody will correct me on this, but absolutely gorgeous thing. And then one day, a few days later, or must have been about a week later, there he was, dead on the floor. Poor thing. But I love things like that. That was the cake. And I missed for a minute. Here we are. This is lovely, this place called Bistro Pierre. It's on the front, and there's the sea out there. And it's really good. The food is really excellent. Oliver's birthday, by the way. He's 166, I think. Yeah, they had the cake from the people at the restaurant, and then Emma produced this. She's become a whiz at making cakes. Isn't that rather beautiful? Look at that for homemade. Lit the candles up. The heat was terrific, by the way. We always say that when somebody gets a little bit mature in age. Oliver loves his mummy. Look at that look in his eye. He absolutely adores his mother.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear
Birthday to you and many more.
15, so many years ahead of me.
If you're down in Eastbourne, I really suggest you go to this Bistro Pierre. On the front, the views are stunning, and they've upped their food an awful lot. When it opened first, I wasn't that impressed with the service and all that, but now they've upped it completely. And I remember the day he was born. What a day that was. I put my coat right beside us. There were some hooks, because I don't like putting my coat on the chair and all that. When I went to go, the coat was gone. Somebody had taken my coat and put it right out at the front door. Really, really good. Enjoyed it today. Fabulous food. I had a beef bourguignon and it was really good.
Has anybody ever had their coat stolen in a restaurant? My coat wasn't stolen exactly. I put it on a hook, which was right beside where I was sitting. There were other coats there as well. And when I went to get my coat, it was gone. And my wallet was in my coat. Anybody ever had that? No, Margaret, did you ever have that? Tell us, Margaret. You look like you've got a story.
I had my coat taken by mistake because we were eating out somewhere and there was me and someone else with the same coat.
Yeah.
but theirs was a different size to mine.
Yeah.
So they went with mine, left me theirs. Well, they could get mine on, but I couldn't get theirs on.
Yeah. Good Lord.
So I never ever got it back because I don't know who it was. And the restaurant wouldn't tell me who it was.
Yeah.
So I didn't lose a coat, but I gained one I couldn't wear.
That when I realised, and my son had actually said to me, he said, "No, I put my coat on the chair." And funny enough, I have a thing about that. If I go to a restaurant and they don't take my coat, I never go to that restaurant again. Chris might be like that. But I'm really old school. I do not like coat. Because I always say to people, you wouldn't do that at home. If you went to visit somebody, you wouldn't do that. They'd take your coat and probably put them in the bedroom. That's the usual thing. But my son said, "No, well, I've got my wallet, and therefore," and I said, "Oh my goodness, my wallet is in my coat," and I left it hanging up, and it's gone. So I went to the management, and then Victoria and myself went for a tour around the restaurant, and she spotted my coat out by the door. So obviously somebody had taken it by mistake or whatever. And then as they were leaving, just put it, but why didn't they bring it back to where it was? Save all the grief. But let's get on. This is a song that we enjoy doing because it's a little bit of our history.
The village where I went to school.
Well, I've traveled the world. I've heard people say, funny how life has slipped away. But I knew that I'd come back someday to the village where I went to school. Over there in a field, there's a big oak tree. It's been growing there before you and me. I carved my name for all to see in the village where I went to school. I'd sit in the class on a cold winter's morn. Sometimes I wished I'd never been born in second-hand clothes that were tattered and torn in the village where I went to school. Where are they now? Some went over the sea. Odd ones came back to the village like me. Like me. The sweet scent of bread from the baker's shop. And there's the park stores where we bought our pop. Molly Sonic's old horse, it goes clippity-clop through the village where I went to school. Well, I've many treasured memories, like the time when the school, they all got fleas. And down in the park where we climbed the trees, in the village where I went to school. Now I've come back home and I reminisce. I look around at the things I've missed as the sun comes up and I watch it kiss the village where I went to school. Like the old village stream, the water flows on. Some folks have stayed while others have gone. Have gone. Well, I look around and I'll find me a wife. I've had my share of trouble and strife, but it's here I'll stay the last years of my life, in the village where I went to school. In the village where I went to school.
Now, how about that? Now put it on to gallery view. This is gallery view. Look at that. Look at that. All that applause. Oh, Con. See, I got a picture there of Con. Con, that's for you. That's for me as well. It's for me as well. But there we are. That's lovely. What did you like about that, Catherine? Tell us what you liked about that. Go on.
It's a nice one with a story.
Yeah.
You can sort of jog along to it. It's a one that suits Corn's voice very well. And of course, he got the bit harmonica in.
Oh, of course. I always have to get my mouth organ in there. You may have noticed in that video, there's a little boy, seemed to be in bed all the time. That was my dear brother Aiden, who died when he was 19. And the reason why he was in bed all the time, he spent most of his life in bed actually in hospital, was that when he was about 4, this is how it all happened. In those days, some may remember, I don't know, I can remember, we didn't have new tricycles all the time. We didn't have new bicycles all the time. And what used to happen with the little bikes and the tricycles was the pedal would eventually come off or snap off, whatever, pedals. And that would expose a hub that the pedal went on. And eventually then from falling and all that sort of thing, the hub would wear to a pointed spike. Now my brother's cousin, my cousin as well actually, Vinny Savino, he used to come over and play with my brother. He eventually became the commander-in-chief of the entire Irish Armed Forces. Can you believe it? And here's a good thing. He was a dunce at school. No good at school at all. And I know because he was in the same school as me. But he managed to get himself all the way to being the top man. He used to come over and play, and he pushed Aiden one day, and Aiden fell over on the bike, and the spike, if you're squeamish, don't listen to this, the spike went right through his knee and right through what we call the growth canal. So with the result, his leg didn't grow anymore. He had what's called a withered leg. I suppose nowadays they'd amputate it and he'd get a false leg, but they didn't in those days. Then he got TB. In those days, there was no antibiotics, there was no penicillin, anything like that. But the only way to get around TB, if you were lucky, was to be outdoors in a bed almost all day long. And they were called sanatoriums, if you remember. Aiden spent most of his life in a sanatorium. He, strangely enough, managed to do 2 years of schooling and ended up with A levels. Can you believe that? 2 years in school and got 3 A levels. Amazing. The girls were mad about him. He was very, very active. My father did the gizmo on the bike so that he could ride it with one pedal. Tremendous stuff. All lovely stuff. So that was my brother, Aiden. Now we get on to the video diaries. This is a really good one because we did a benefit show, and who was on it but Jimmy Cricket, you know, the man with the galoshes. We call them wellies. Janet would call them galoshes with left and right painted on them, taking the mick out of the Irish. But have a look at this. Very pretty sights in the village where I live, in Meads. That's one of our locals for Pilot. And rather delightful houses. Lovely little alleyways. Gorgeous little walks. I do like that house, it's lovely. I think when I get old and grey, that's the sort of place I'd like to live in. Down that way is walking towards my place. I live up the top of the hill. These houses are rather gorgeous. It's just like a street in Spain, really. And that's the back view of St Andrew's School, which is where my granddaughter Layla goes to at the moment. My son went there as well, Oliver. He loved it, absolutely loved it. He boarded there. And now we live about 100 yards away from it. Crazy, really. And that's our main street, Mead Street, which is lovely. Typical English little village street with the usual shops, Tesco's and Co-op, all that sort of stuff. Very few local shops though now, which is sad. We have local cafes, of course. To the right there we have an old hospital which has been converted now into very luxury flats, and that's quite something. You can still see the church sticking up there, and they use that for weddings and funerals, wakes, that sort of thing. Beautiful venue inside, gorgeous. And that's all the way up Darley Road. That's the way I'll be walking in a minute when I pick up the milk from Tesco's. It's hilarious, really. Even if you've been #1 in the charts, you still have to go down to Tesco's in the village to pick up the milk. Here I go. And where's the milk? Where's the milk? Where's the milk? You can tell how used I am to shopping. I haven't a clue where the milk is. Used to be there. They've moved. Ah! There it is up there. They've moved it. They've moved it again. Now Sandy won't let me buy organic milk, so I've got to get the semi-skimmed. I much prefer organic everything. I really look after my health, and I would advise everybody organic everything. The toxins today in food are a bit drastic. Tonight we have tuna steaks cooked with herbs, garlic and oil. We have turnips, we have parsnips which are serrated, and we have buttered carrots and a toasted onion. I think it should be quite nice. You want to taste it? Nice?
Very nice.
I can't wait to have some myself. Now tonight we have chicken which is cooked with thyme and mint and fried slightly with plums. Then the salad is rocket spinach and something else which I can't remember, and it's done with an incredible vinaigrette which I've done, and it, yeah, I said rocket, yeah, and it just looks gorgeous. The vinaigrette is to die for. So here we go. What's it taste like? Oh, sorry about the ladder actually, because we have squirrels up in the loft, and I'm trying to take care of them. Here we go now.
Lovely.
Yeah? Chicken cooked perfectly. Another masterpiece.
Before it gets cold.
And tonight we have bread-crumbed breast of chicken.
Can you eat some?
With sweet potatoes, buttered carrots, and Brussels sprouts. And tonight we have lamb steak cooked on pumpkin and sesame seed creamy cheese with a fried cabbage leaf and cauliflower rice.
pork loin, mini corn on the cob, buttered carrots, and some beans done in a beautiful chef's sauce. Isn't that beautiful?
It's lovely.
2 different types of sausages, plums and apples, a beautiful salad with avocado and large tomatoes, done with my own vinaigrette and that. Now would you like to have some salad? Isn't that beautiful? Absolutely beautiful. I think I like that. That was a bit special. Very special. I think I'll do that one again.
Lovely.
Now that was brilliant, wasn't it?
It was.
That was brilliant. Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, as long as I enjoy it as well, it's, that's what we have to do. And Danny, what did you think?
I thoroughly enjoyed myself, as always.
As always,
as
you
always.
enjoyed yourself.
Yeah, except that one fill at the end. That
one fill.
Yeah, when DEC turned the camera around to point at me and suddenly couldn't play the drums. I'm sure that won't show up on any internet sites though.
No, it won't.
No.
It won't. So okay, well,
standing ovation again.
Again, we fooled them again. Fooled again.
Standing ovation.
Okay, thank you very much. Goodbye. Bye.
Bye. Bye. See you soon.
Well, here we are, waiting to go on, and this is going to be for the big show.
Hello.
Danny, are you ready?
Born ready.
Con, are you ready?
Oh yes, always ready. Ever ready, they call me.
So we're going to do a fantastic show, aren't we?
Oh yeah.
Where are we? I don't know.
Whittlesea.
Whittlesea. That's
Ivy Leaf Club, Whittlesea.
Right, it's beside Peterborough.
Beside Peterborough, it's a place called Whittlesea, and it's a special charity night, isn't it?
It is a big charity night tonight.
We've gone for Barbara, and I have to check out what the charity is.
I
Because it's very cool when you're able to say that when you're on stage.
yes. Oh yes.
And believe me, when artists like us do charity shows, we have no idea what the charity is for.
Well, sometimes
I shouldn't really say that, should I? But we're going to have a good one.
Yeah. Wish you were here.
When Don Boys and when they laughed at me, I went straight off the stage.
Who are you?
Freddie Football, Joey Snooker, Jimmy, the hat, the wellies.
That's the job. That's
Letter
the
from my
fella.
mammy, you know me, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Now, what is this excuse you had?
Interrogation! My God. No, it's lovely audience. We are here at the Ivy League Club. What can I say? I'm not going to wash for a week. The Ivy League Club in Whittlesea, near Peterborough. It's a special Irish show. We brought a little bit of Ireland here tonight.
I was over there last week.
How were they?
Yeah. They asked after you.
Oh, all right.
How was Jimmy, they said?
Bless. I'm getting withdrawal symptoms, especially from the bank manager.
So listen, we're going to have a lovely time tonight, Jimmy.
Absolutely, yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
You're totally forgetting about the really biggest show, 250,000 people. Come on, come on.
Oh, you mean York Racecourse?
York Racecourse with
yes.
the Pope. They wanted us to sing I Believe. Well, we had a... I know. Yeah. Don't worry, don't worry. No, it's okay. No, it's no problem. We're here until Tuesday.
When the day is long.
I hope you enjoyed that. Yeah, I enjoy looking back at it. I saw you, Lynn, in the front row of one of the concerts. Did you see yourself in one of the concerts, yeah?
Yes, I did. That was at Gospel. It's at the Trinity Church.
Was it? Yeah, it was a church, yeah. Lovely,
Yes, I went there on my own.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there taking photographs as usual.
The old video diaries. I love watching them. Brings back great, great memories. I always feel sad though at the end when they say, come and join us at a concert or a show next month. And that's all gone. Ah. Now let's get on to this one. John Leyland asked me to do an in-depth on various people through my career. We did one on Shel Talmy, helped with our first record, Charmaine and that, and then we did one on Dick Rowe, who was our recording manager all through the years. This one I'd like to focus on Philip Solomon, who found us and nurtured us. The thing that people don't realize is Philip was responsible for Mario Lanza in the very old days. I can see Adrienne shaking her, nodding her head. But then he went on to people like Ruby Murray, first person to ever have 5 records in the top 10 at the same time. Ruby Murray, then Bridie Gallagher, famous Irish singer. Then he went on, he discovered the Dubliners, and then Them, which was, of course, Van Morrison. So Philip was responsible for Van Morrison. Went right through the years. Lena Zabaroni, ourselves, obviously. But Philip was what we call in our business, in show business, totally nuts. Unpredictable. You never know what he get up to. And some of you may remember a 16-week series that we did, not series, a 16-week season we did in Bournemouth at the Pavilion Hotel, when famously the Beatles arrived for one night and were playing in the Regent Cinema over opposite, and I went over to see them. But that's another story. I warned everybody concerned, and we were co-producing the show, co-promoting the show, shall I say. In other words, making a lot of money out of it. And I warned everybody, the sound system just isn't up to it. There were tiny sound systems in those days. And they kept on saying, oh no, leave it to the experts. I said, oh yeah, I've heard that one before. Anyway, came the opening night, and we went on. And it was dreadful. It really was dreadful. Philip Solomon came rushing around, bashed through our dressing room door. What's going on? It always went straight for me. Jack, what's going on with the sound? I said, Philip, you will remember I have been on to everybody concerned. Yourself, Dorothy, Bob Luff, who's co-promoting with us. And I told you that the sound was no good. Had to be upped. We had to better it. The width of that the door knocked, and I had a little peek out. It was the duty manager of the place. And Philip says, "Who are you?" He said, "I'm the duty manager." He said, "I don't talk to boys. Get me the manager," and slammed the door in his face. And when we opened the door, It was just like a cartoon. The glasses were all over the place, smashed to bits. He had blood running down his nose. And he was in a mess. The whole of the people backstage, the whole backstage crew went on strike. Now, we were very, very lucky. I had to do some really sharp talking and say to them, well, listen, you can't do this with the audience in. Let's have a chat about it afterwards. Okay, but they never spoke to us. The whole crew never spoke one word to us for the whole 16 weeks after that. It was horrific. Billy Dainty was with us, for those who were around at that time. It was a lovely show. Very, very hugely successful. Marvelous. Now, what can we get on to next? Oh, yes. Philip and food. Philip was forever causing ructions in restaurants. We were doing a season in Scarborough, you may remember it, at the Futures Hotel. And for some unknown reason, Philip and Dorothy took us to lunch one day. Grand Hotel in Scarborough, the best place around. We went in and ordered. For some unknown reason, Philip ordered a salad on the side, and they gave him this salad, which was one piece of lettuce, half a tomato, and a little bit of onion. And I knew what was going to happen because I'd been with Philip so many times in this situation. He said, "Get me the maitre d'." The maitre d' came over and said, "Do you have any Tupperware containers?" And he said, well, no, sir, I don't think so. He says, "Here's £10. There's a shop across the road. Go and get me some Tupperware containers." Came back about 10 minutes later with the Tupperware container. Philip took the salad, put it into the Tupperware container. "Now, who owns this establishment?" He said, "Oh, where would I find him?" "I'm terribly sorry, sir, but he's the mayor this year, and he's actually at the town hall in conference with the rest of the councillors." "Or give me a cab." So Philip, I knew exactly what was going to happen. He got into the cab, went over, burst through the doors of the town hall, everybody trying to stop him. Burst through, he said, "Where's the Lord Mayor?" There was, he's in there, but he's in conference with the rest of the council. And Philip burst through, you can imagine. Down they went down to the table. "Are you the mayor? Did you own the Grand Hotel?" "Oh, yes." He said, "Look at this." And he tipped it out onto the table. And Philip said, "Would you eat this?" He said, "Well, I don't think I would." So Philip then explained to him in great detail. Of course, you know the end of the story. We never paid for anything. We had the best food in the place. Bottle of Dom Perignon saved to us. It was quite amazing. But that's what Philip got up to all the time and every time. So let's get on to this one. Some of you remember us doing an Irish medley in the act right through all our career. We always did it, especially around Patrick's Day. So a few years ago, I recreated it in the studio with Con. Have a look at this Irish medley.
In the year of our Lord 1806, we set sail from the fair cove of Cork. We were bound far away with the cargo of bricks for the fine city hall in New York. We'd an elegant craft, she was rigged fore and aft, and oh how the wild winds drove her. She stood several blasts, she had 27 masts, and they called her the Irish Rover. I've a nice little cot and a fair bit of land, and a house by the side of the sea, and I care about nobody, 'cause I believe that nobody nobody cares about me. I'm fairly annoyed, and I'm really destroyed by a lassie who lives in the town. She smiles every day as she passes my way. Do you want your lobby washed down? Do you want your lobby washed down, Conshine? Do you want your lobby washed down? She smiles every day as she passes my way. Do you want your lobby washed down? Do you want your lobby washed down, Conshine? Do you want your lobby washed down? She smiles every day as she passes my way. Do you want your lobby washed down, Conshine? The pale moon was rising above the green mountain. The sun, it was setting beneath the blue sea. As I walked with my love by the pure crystal fountain that stands in the beautiful vale of Tralee. She was lovely and fair, like a rose in the summer, yet it was not her beauty alone that won me. Oh no, 'twas the truth in her eyes ever dawning that made me love Mary, the rose of Tralee. And it's home, boys, home. Home I'd like to be, home for a while in me own country, where the oak and the ash and the bonny elm tree, they're all a-growing greener in me own country. There was an apprentice lived in Strawberry Lane, loved by his master and his mistress both the same, until a young sailor boy came sailing o'er the sea, and that was the beginning of their misery. And it's home, boys, home. Home I'd like to be, home for a while in me own country, where the oak and the ash and the bonny elm tree, they're all a-growing greener in me own country. They're all growing greener in me own country. I wandered today to the hills, Maggie, to watch the sea below. The creek and the lovely old mill, Maggie, as we used to long ago. Well, the green grove has gone from the hills, Maggie, where once the daisy sprung, and the lovely old mill, sure it's still you and I were young, since you and I were young. Have you heard the fiddler flute from the town of Ballymuck? The times are going hard for him, in fact the man was broke. So we just sent out a notice to his neighbours one and all, as to how we liked the company that evening at the ball. When writing out he was careful to suggest to them that if they found a hat of his conveyed to the door, the more they put in whenever he requested them, the better would the music be for battering the floor. With the toots on the flute, twiddle on the fiddle, oh, hopping in the middle like a herding on the griddle, oh, hop down, hands around, crossing to the wall. Had we the gaiety, it filled the Prince's ball. Little Mickey Mulligan got up to show them how, and then the witty Cafferty got up and took a bow. Why is that jockey feature she as sure as you were born? If you'd only make the piper play the hare within the corn. Bill played up with the best of his ability, and the lady and the gentleman began to do their share. Biff, then Mick, 'tis you that has agility. Begorra, Mrs. Cafferty, you're leaping like a hare. With the tooth on the flute and twiddle on the fiddle, oh, hopping in the middle like a herding on the griddle, oh, hop down, hands around, crossing to the wall. Hadn't we the gaiety, it filled the fruiter's ball. On the flute and a twiddle on the fiddle, oh, hopping in the middle like a herding on the griddle, oh, hop down, hands around, crossing to the wall. Oh, hadn't we the gaiety at fill the fluter's ball. That's all.
A nice glass. I wouldn't mind a glass of Guinness now. That'd be good, wouldn't it? That would be terrific. Okay. Look at that. Look at all the applauding. Con, look at the applause. Isn't that fantastic? See the applause? Look at the applause. Look. Amazing. Yeah. You're not impressed. Lynn, have you got the birthdays ready? Ha ha.
We've got John Hutchinson this month.
Oh,
He'll be 68 on the 23rd.
Yeah.
But he can't be with us. I don't know if you know, he's been in hospital for quite a few weeks.
Yes.
He went in with an infection and he ended up having his right leg amputated from his knee.
No.
And it's massive life changing for him. You know, he's got to adapt to that, you know, have physiotherapy, a prosthetic leg. He's in a care home at the moment.
Yeah.
And they've got to sort out sheltered accommodation for him. He won't be able to go back to his own house. And he's taken it all on the chin. He's been really brave about it.
Yeah.
He hasn't got his laptop with him, so that's why he can't be here. So he's waiting to be reunited with that, so he can at least see the playback.
Of course.
So he needs a massive happy birthday greeting from all of us.
Yeah.
Okay,
so let me see. Look, I've got the special cake.
No,
and you've just made this cake, haven't you, Sandy?
Go on.
You just made it, Sandy.
I just made it, yeah.
Sandy has just made the cake. Look at the cake. Look at this cake. Sandy has just made that cake. And if you believe that, you believe anything. And that is as true as I am riding this horse. You're not impressed? No, Sandy's not impressed. So, happy birthday to you, John. Happy birthday to you, John. Happy birthday to John. Happy birthday to you and many more. And a special get well soon. So who's going to... Lynn, would you like to blow out the candles? Would you?
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
They'll go 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, John.
That was the longest blowing out of any candles ever. And you've given the whole game away, Sandy.
Okay.
They know how it's done now.
Good.
That's terrible. They know how it's done. So, have we got any birthdays next month? Lynn?
Well,
What about
Kevin's next month.
Oh, Kevin's next month.
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely.
He'll be
isn't it?
72 then.
72, my goodness. Everybody's getting old. I'm not getting old at all. Honestly, I am getting younger and younger and younger. I can't believe it. I am 47 now.
So how do you do it?
I'm going backwards, Lynn. I go backwards. I'm going backwards. But let's get on. This is Con's favourite song, and he would want me, wouldn't you, Con? He'd want me to tell you this story. This was written by Percy French. And Percy French wrote loads of these songs about the Irish railways because they were always breaking down. Honestly, there's so many stories about it, but he wrote the stories in books and in pamphlets and everything in those days. And he also wrote the songs. And so much so, he annoyed the railways so much that they sued him. And it was a major law case. And the day arrived for the law case, and the judge was assembled, the jury were assembled, all the people were assembled, the lawyers and the barristers and all that, and no Percy French. And the judge waited and waited, and he banged his gavel, and he said, if this Mr. French does not turn up in the next 5 minutes, I am going to find for the railway company, and we're going to take an awful lot of money, £100,000 from Mr. French. Is he not? And with that, the door opened, and in walked Percy French, and then sat in the seat assigned to him. The judge looked down and said, I hope you have a damned good excuse, Mr. French. What excuse have you got for being late this morning? You were almost an hour late. And he looked up at the judge and he says, I came on the railway. And the judge says, case dismissed, and Mr. French gets all the costs. And that was it. Isn't that a lovely story? But that is an absolutely true story. And this is a lovely story put to music by Mr. Percy French. Con absolutely adored this.
1, 2, 3. You're right there, Michael, so you're right. You may talk of Columbus sailing across the Atlantical Sea, but he never tried to go railing from Ennis as far as Kilkee. You run for the train in the morning, the excursion train starting at 8. You're there when the clock gives the warning, but there for an hour you will wait. And as you're waiting in the train, you'll hear the guard sing this refrain. Are you right there, Michael? Are you right? Do you think that we'll be home before the night? Are you been so long starting that you couldn't say for certain? Still you might now, Michael, so you might. They find where the engine's been hiding, and it drags you to sweet Corofin. Sister Guard, back her down on the siding. There's a goods from Kilrush coming in, but perhaps it comes in 2 hours. Perhaps it breaks down on the way. If it does, Sister Guard, Peter Powers, we're here for the rest of the day. And as you sit and curse your luck, the train backs down into a truck. Are you right there, Michael? Are you right? Have you got the parcel there for Mrs. White? Oh, you haven't? Oh, we gotta say it's coming down tomorrow. And it might now, Michael, so it might. At Lahinch the sea shines like a jewel. With joy you are ready to shout. When the stoker cries out, there's no fuel, and the fire is tied totally out. But hand up that bit of a log there. I'll soon have you out of the fix. There's a fine clump of turf in the bog there. And the rest, go on, gather the sticks. And while you're breaking bits of trees, you hear some wise remarks like these. Are you right there, Michael? Are you right? Do you think that you can get the fire to light? Oh, an hour you'll require for the turf, it could be drier. And it might now, Michael, so it might. Kilkeel, you never get near it. You're in luck if the train brings you back. For the permanent way is so queer, it spends most of its time off the track. Uphill the old engine is climbing, while the passengers push with the will. You're in luck when you reach Ennis-Timon, for all the way home is downhill. And as you're wobbling through the dark, you hear the guard make this remark. Are you right there, Michael? Are you right? Do you think that we'll be home before it's light? This all depends on whether the old engine holds together. And it might, now, Michael, so it might. So it might. It might now, Michael. And so it might.
Lovely to see Con again. That was lovely. I enjoyed that. And let's see, is everybody applauding? Let's see, is everybody applauding? Con, look at this, Con. Look at the applause. It's all for you. It's all for you. This next one is a lovely song. It's what we call in Ireland a rebel song. And as I mentioned earlier on, it harks back to the old days. I want you to listen to the words very carefully. A lot of this history about the British rule in Ireland, now don't get me wrong, British rule everywhere in the world was pretty disgraceful. But that was the way it was in those days. Nothing anybody could do about it. That was the way of the world. Ireland didn't really break itself away from British rule until 1916. We had a massive rebellion, which is never taught in British schools. It is taught in Irish schools, but people don't remember it. Then in 1922, we had a civil war, which was brother against brother. That was pretty horrific. I could tell you stories about that, make your hair curl, involving my own family. Eventually, it wasn't until 1949 that Ireland became the Republic of Ireland. Irish people are very proud of that and get very upset and annoyed when people refer to us as being from the UK or whatever. We don't like it because we fought so hard for independence. But this is a song, it was written in the 60s or 70s by Tommy Makem. You may remember the Clancy Brothers and Tommy Makem. That was Tommy Makem. And everybody thinks it's an ancient song. It's not. But listen to the words. I was told about this. I think it was Margaret told me about this song. It was Margaret. And I did it. And I loved it. And thank you very much, Margaret, for telling me about this. And this is my take on it. I love playing all the instruments. I love playing the melodeon, little melodeon like that. Yeah. And I love playing the violin was terrific. Gypsy violin, played that. I love putting it all together. And all the harmonies are absolutely genuine Bachelor harmonies that I used to do back in the days. When we started in 1960, I copied the whole idea. But listen to this, you will like it.
Said the fine old woman, what did I have? This proud old woman did say I had 4 green fields. Each one was a jewel, but strangers came, tried to take them from me. I had 5 strong sons. They fought to save my jewels. They fought and died, and that was my grief, says she. Long time ago, said the fine old woman. Long time ago, this proud old woman did say there was war and death, plundering and pillage. My children starved by mountain, valley, and sea, and their wailing cry, they shook the very heavens. My 4 green fields ran red with their blood, said she.
in strangers' hands. They tried to take it from me, but my sons have sung as brave as were their fathers. My four green fields will bloom once again, said she.
Tommy Macon wrote that. And I hope he's pleased with what I did with it. I have to put that at the end for YouTube. Let's see the applause. Let's see the applause. Look at that. Con! I shouldn't say this really because people get upset, but I don't need you really. Do you know something? I would love to have heard Con singing that. Linda Wood, have you any knowledge at all of what went on in Ireland for the past 700 years? For instance, do you know when Ireland got its independence?
No, as you said, it was never taught in schools.
That's right.
And so there was no real knowledge, as children, is exactly what happened. I think nowadays we're much more aware of the fact, but I think we're more aware of the fact through television documentaries, etc., than any truer history.
But the next one is on the 7th of April, which I'm really looking forward to. And please, anybody, and Janet, if anything you think you'd like to hear me singing, I mean, bachelors wise, anything you want me to sing, just shoot it to me and see am I able. But I can do most stuff. But thank you all very much for being with me this week. I really enjoy doing this, you know that. And the replay, we'll get it edited tonight, hopefully, or tomorrow. It'll takes about a day and a half to do it. So it should be with you tomorrow. And John Hutchinson, I hope it cheers him up. I hope John gets well soon. It'd be lovely to see him back here. That would be nice. And goodbye to everybody. Thank you so much for being with me. And I don't know what I'm going to do for the rest of the day. I think I'll go out for a nice walk up the downs. And I'll take my camera with it. And yeah, that might be nice. Okay? Bye. And thank you.
What did I have? Said the fine old woman. What did I have? This pride